Okay, this is Steven back again. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the oil in a 2012 Toyota Prius C. There's mine right there. I've been changing my oil for quite a few years now, ever since I got the last free oil change at the dealer. They wanted like over $100 for an oil change. Anyway, today I'm going to show you how to do it yourself and save a lot of money over time. The tools you need a 14mm wrench. I use a Fram oil filter, mainly because they have the grips on the back, so it's really easy to turn. This rubberized, it's kind of rough like sandpaper to get it off really easily. And I use like an oil pan that you can pick up at AutoZone. And some ramps. You don't have to use the ramps. They're really easy to use. They make it a lot easier. You can you could jack the car up instead if you have a jack. You want to do it that way. Otherwise, it's real hard to get underneath the car to do this. But anyway, having said that, the first thing you need to do is take your wrench, go under here, and this is going to be, I don't know if you can see that, this is going to be the oil pan. You put your wrench on there. Hopefully it's not too hard to do. You're going to turn it, you're going to pull it towards you in this case to loosen it. Mine's already loose, but yeah, you would turn it, pull it towards you. And make sure you got your oil pan under there first, and then park the ramp kind of close here. And probably gonna end up getting this all over my ramp. And that's not gonna work out too good, is it? I'll see, I guess. You can always hold up the bin, I guess, before you do it. Alright, so I was right. It would have gotten all over my ramp if I hadn't held it up under there, so it's a good point. Make sure on the passenger side front tire, if you use a ramp, make sure your wheel's going to end up on the outside of the ramp as much as possible, so that you can get the oil pan under there. Anyway, after that's gone, you're going to go ahead and screw the drain oil pan bolt back in. I usually wait until the last, at least it's dripping and not stream still, so it's almost ready now. One note is you don't want to do this on a windy day because the oil will just spray everywhere. So that's a lesson learned that I had. Alright, so that's almost ready, and I'm going to stick the bolt back on there and just tighten it down. Kind of, you know, hand tight, but not too tight. It's just keeping the oil in, so it doesn't have to be really torqued on there too much. So I'll be right back. All right, that's just about to stop dripping now, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolt back in. One thing to note is there's a washer that comes off. You can replace this. I don't usually replace it every oil change, but make sure that sucker's on there before you put the bolt back in. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. Spin it until hand tight. And then I'm going to use my wrench just to tighten it down. Like I said, you don't have to really torque it down. There's probably a torque spec on this. I don't know what it is. But you just want to kind of get it tight enough, because like I said, this is just holding, you know, it's just the oil pan plug bolt, so it doesn't really need to be that tight. Alright, if you come over toward the front of the car a little bit further, you'll see this is the oil filter right here. And again, some of the dealers will tighten this down really tight, so it may be difficult to get off the first time. But if you've been changing the oil, then you know you don't have to really tighten this down either that tight. Just get it as tight as you can, and then next time you come to change the oil, it'll be loose enough where you can get it off with your hands. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's kind of hard to do it with holding the camera at the same time, but another option you can do if it is too tight, you can get a little wrench that goes on here, and you can pull it off that way if it's too tight. If the dealer put it on last time. So That's another little tip. Alright, be right back. Alright, like I said, mine wasn't very tight. So I'm going to move my oil pan right under the oil filter before I do this. And you are going to get a little oily on this step, unfortunately. There's really no way around it. You're just going to twist that off. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, as usual. And there goes the oil. Let a little bit spill out first into your pan. And then you can unscrew it the rest of the way and dump it into the pan. And that's going to be removing the oil filter. And the next step is to put the oil filter back on. So I'll be right back. Alright, so here I have my brand new filter. And I'm just going to take some of the oil that's already on my hands and run it around the gasket that's on here. Just to get it kind of lubed up so that when I put it back on the car, it will tighten down nice tight. So let's go ahead and replace that now. I'm going to try to do this with my one hand while filming. Here we go. So you're going to just kind of feel around until it catches, and then it's going to be righty-tighty this time. Just does not want to. Come on, there it goes. There we go. Okay, you're going to spin it up. You can tell I'm just going to tighten it kind of as tight as I can get it with my hand here. Doesn't have to be that tight. So that's about as tight as I can get it with my left hand. By the way, I'm right-handed, so. Alright, that should do it. That's pretty much done here on the bottom of the car, so now we're going to move up and start replacing the oil. Alright, if you didn't know it, the hood release is going to be right here under the dash. Excuse my dirty car. You're going to pull that to release the hood, and then come around here, and we're going to pop the hood just by reaching. Let that stop. You're going to pop the hood just by releasing the latch here. So if you reach right under the Toyota emblem, stick your finger under there and just push up, and then lift the hood. And we're going to use this rod right here and put it in the little hole. That's that. Then come over here, and this is going to be your oil cap. Take that guy off, and then next step is just putting the oil in. Alright, I went ahead and took my car down off of the ramps because I wanted to be able to measure accurately the oil level when I do the dipstick. I get this oil off of Amazon. You can set it up for a scheduled delivery where it's delivered like every 3 or 4 months whenever you change the oil, and you can also schedule your oil filter. So that's what I do. It's pretty easy. They send it to you every 3 months and remind you to change your oil. Funnel. Well, I normally have a funnel for this. It's a lot easier, and you don't risk spilling any oil if you do it that way. But this time I guess I'm not going to be able to find it, so I'm going to go ahead and try to put the oil in without spilling it. And I'm probably going to spill it all over the place. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and check my dipstick now. See where we're at on the level. Alright, so the dipstick is right here in front of the camera. I'm going to take my handy shop rag, which is probably another thing I should have put on the list, to wipe it off. And you see, maybe you can see these two little dots. There's one kind of right there, and then one at the end. You need to get the oil level between those two dots. So as I mentioned, I'm off the ramps now. If you do this on the ramps, it's not going to give you probably as accurate a reading. And you can see that the oil level is between those two dots. So I'm good where I'm at. I could add a little bit more, but I'm probably going to leave it right there. So basically that's it. You screw your oil cap back on. Obviously this only has to be hand tight. And you can recycle your oil at the auto parts store. They'll take your oil there. So that's basically it. That's a complete oil change. Toyota Prius 2012 Prius C. And this is going to be your windshield wiper fluid. It's always good to have windshield wiper fluid. If you live in the colder climates, then you need to buy the blue stuff. It comes from the auto parts store in case it freezes. Otherwise, in Texas, I usually just fill it up with just water right out of the hose, which has never caused me any problems so far. This right here is going to be your breather filter, your air filter, and mine will probably look terrible. It doesn't look too good. It's probably time to change that. So to change it, you just pop this guy out, put a new one in, and it's got some little things in back. You push the little things in, and then this pops right back over. What else? And then you have your coolant down here. You can check. There's a marking on the side, which you're probably not going to be able to see, but there's a full and low level there also. Just make sure that's filled, and you want to do half water and half coolant. You know, see the manufacturer's recommended mixture rate, whatever, on that. And that's so actually the brake fluid is right here. Make sure you don't put brake fluid in there. That's actually the coolant for the battery and the engine. So this is what you want to actually check. So there's the max level, and the min is way down here where my thumb is. So you want to make sure that you have enough brake fluid in there. That's where you check that. The last part of changing your oil, you reset the maintenance data. And the way to do that is you put the key in accessory position right before start, and then you press the trip button 3 times. And on the last time, you're going to hold it until you see the data reset. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so when you see the blue Prius come up, that's when I'm going to start hitting the trip. 1, 2, 3, and there you see 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. Just keep holding it, and then finally it's reset, and that's it. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, and I'll be back with another video soon, hopefully. Thanks.